I wanted to talk about the phrase "women are like cats; they belong to the streets." If you've been in the MGTOW community, you've probably heard this before. Um, and at first, it may not seem, it may not be understandable. It may actually sound degrading towards women. I've actually mentioned this to men, and I said women are like cats that belong to the streets, and they freak out. They're like, yo, bro, that's not cool, da da da. White knighting and all that shit. Until you actually sit back and think about it. And I sat back and thought about all the women I had ever been with, long term relationships, hookups, short term relationships, and all the rest. Um, and I can tell you that it's very true. The reason I believe it's true is every girl that I've been with, and this could be, what's the word? Fuck, can't even think about it right now, but uh, anecdotal evidence towards me. But I also have the internet where many men can agree with this. So it may be anecdotal evidence, but I also have the internet that has millions and millions of people and other men that can relate to this. Even women probably can relate to this because they're a part of the problem. Um, every girl that I've ever been with has cheated on her boyfriend, has cheated on her husband. They lie. Okay. A lot of times it's not that I was just wanting to sleep with these girls because they had a boyfriend or because they had a husband. It wasn't that. Um, these girls will tell you that they're broken up with them or they're never going back to them or they're not actually. I had one girl say, he's not actually my husband, I'm just using him for a visa. Okay. Um, it's just funny because we fall for it. We fall for it, and seconds or days or weeks or months later, they go back to that husband or they go back to that boyfriend, and you're sitting there like, this bitch just straight up worked it. She worked her fucking magic. And that's the cat in them. They go out, they go on their girls' night out, and they go and they sleep with the Chads and the Tyrones and all that kind of shit. I wouldn't consider myself a Chad or a Tyrone, but I've definitely pulled women, very beautiful women, and I wouldn't say I'm a Chad. I'm 5'10". I mean, I'm in decent shape and all that. Um, but these girls will seek them out, or even, I mean, even the guy like me, who's pretty much a fucking total loser. I mean, I'm a fucking maintenance man for a hotel. I don't have a lot of money. Yet some of these girls would seek me out, know what they were doing, work their fucking manipulative ways, and basically, tell me, hey, I really like you, and and this and that. And we'd have either one night stands, or sometimes some girls would tell me like, oh, you know what, I'd be sleeping with them with a couple of months, and they say, hey, I want to be with you, and you'd go, okay, sounds cool with me. And then all of a sudden, as soon as you drop those words like, yeah, it's cool with me, they're already looking for the next. They're already looking for the next fucking cat to sleep with in the street, you know? And you're just stuck there scratching your head like, what the fuck happened? And it's funny because you'll have all these dating coaches that'll tell you to, like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta hold your frame, your masculine frame, and all this shit. And I go, now that I've gone MGTOW and I look at these PUAs, and I go, what? 24 hours, 365, hold your frame? Sounds pretty fucking exhausting to me. Imagine you had to, like, always be this other person. Like, you couldn't be yourself. You had to be this robot 24 hours a day, 365, just to keep this one woman around. Fuck that shit. I'd rather fucking just be myself. Have them come when they come, because they've come. Not that kind of come, but they've come around, and they sleep with me, have their fun, just as I've had my fun, and then they bounce. But the scary part is that I've had encounters where, they told me, hey, my boyfriend and I are separated and we're done with each other. And the next minute I got calls coming to my phone. You fucking my girl? And it's like, it's dangerous. And, in other situations where I'm like, hey, I've had friends be shot because their girl, or quote unquote chick, was cheating on their boyfriend with buddies of mine, and they were killed. See, these chicks, they don't go past that. They don't go past the idea. They don't think, basically. They don't go thinking of the future and what's going to happen with them. They think in the moment, and they have their fun, and then they leave. They don't take any accountability to what they're doing. They do what they do, and then they leave. This is another reason why I think MGTOW is growing so much bigger than it is, because I know that the very, very few subscribers that I have, very few, the ones that I do, I know they know what I'm talking about. And I know they have gone through the pain and have suffered, but within that pain have discovered and got the answers they needed through the internet, through the red pill knowledge, through MGTOW. And now they're here and they're listening to content. There's a guy named VVS, and he's banned on YouTube now, I believe, but there's a channel called VVS Reloaded, and he makes a good point about dating nowadays, and hookups and all this kind of stuff. For guys nowadays, it's just luck. These PUAs will tell you to be confident, and you gotta hold your frame, and you gotta text them, every week, once a week text, and whatever the fuck. And he just goes like, it's all a bunch of bullshit. And MGTOW community knows it's a bunch of bullshit. These PUA coaches and shit like that, they're just sucking your money, and they're just taking your money. MGTOW knows the truth. It's just luck. You just gotta be in the right time, in the right moment, and it happens to be that girl will be there. Don't let these PUAs and other people tell you otherwise, basically. But with that said, I'm gonna cut it short there. Thanks, guys.